Hello and thank you for joining us for the second episode in our special series on real estate development. Joining us here today again is Alex Zagrabelny, the CEO and founder of Our Evolution, the visionary firm behind the Eiwa development project. Alex, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Also joining us here today is Priska Weems, a development strategist and the CEO of Dubai Future. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you both. Kicking us off here today, the subject of conversation is all around regenerative development. A relatively new terminology, I think, in comparison to where my first question is going to take us, which is on sustainability. I remember 10 years ago sustainability being the topic of conversation anywhere in the town when it came to developments. But are we now finding out that sustainability is not enough? Do we need to be taking it further? Alex, if we can go to you first.
Yeah, of course. First is, what is the difference between sustainable and regenerative? Yeah, so that's the part is that regenerative, from the energy resources point of view, you need to produce more than you consume inside the building, inside the community. But the second meaning for me, and the most important one, sustainable buildings more focus on energy resources. But regenerative development more focus on that everybody flourish. So it means it must be regenerative for the planet, it must be regenerative for communities, and it must be regenerative for individuals. And like in our project in Eiwa, of course, we position that individuals, so who live inside the building, must flourish. And there is not only about the electricity or water consumption, it's about quality of the water, quality of the air, quality of energy inside the building, quality of the connection with nature, quality of all tools. It's actually, it's more about the holistic system around it that increase people well-being, increase people longevity, and then to manage their relationship, to propose even to strategy how they can be together in their community. That even community with like through the relationship in the community, through the rituals in the community. Yeah, so that it's support them in their life goals, in their flourishing in general.
Priska, same question to you here, I think, on this subject of regenerative development in comparison to sustainability. How would you compare and contrast the two? Do you think sustainability isn't going far enough?
Sure. So I think of sustainability as doing no harm. And where we've lost the plot with sustainability and with carbon neutral is that they affect one side of the balance sheet. Right? So we are trying to create thriving, living communities. And so the investment needs to be balanced between the two sides. And so the more that we begin to invest in living systems, we're bringing a much more resilient, a much more thriving set of circumstances together where communities continue to improve over time, environments continue to improve over time the longer they've been in effect, the longer they've been active. So it's actually creating a more vibrant future. And with greater investment into these living systems, we get much greater returns across the investment portfolio.
You both used a similar word there on the subject of community. How important is this focus on community when it comes to regenerative development?
It's really very important. Yeah, because now, because of disconnection in communities, it's like you lose Actually, you lose a very important part of your life. Yeah, so that's in our buildings in Eiwa generation 5.0, and maybe later I will tell what means generation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But we are generation 5.0. This is I think this will be the future of real estate. After 20 years, you will see. So my first LEED Platinum building, I created in 2010. So nobody understands even what it means, LEED Platinum certification. Yeah, but now, generation 5.0 regenerative developments, it's like reconnect people inside the community and make the community flourish from these relationships, yeah, between them.
Priska, connect the dots for me here between this idea of regenerative development and community, but also wellness. How do those three bleed together?
Right. I really see there's two levels. So there's the holistic level that Alex referred to, and that is humans as part of nature, right? So when you are building a holistic community, you're raising the capacity of all systems and creating more thriving within the community. So that is humans in relationship and stewardship and symbiosis to natural systems like water, like energy generation that's natural. And to your earlier point, when you take nature out of communities, you take human connection out of communities. So you isolate people from one another. Hence the global shift to loneliness and all sorts of things. So that's one element of it. And then there's another element of what does it really mean to be in a regenerative community, and that is where it's opening more potentiality. It's opening more potentiality within ourselves and within what we can create together, because we're using the assets available in their fullest potential.
Would you agree, Alex?
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's open even for business a lot of possibilities. Yeah, because now, in all of my buildings, the community inside, they can find a lot of possible possibilities for collaboration between them. So that's to open possibility to collaborate, to open possibility even like through education. So what kind of extra for the developers, I think regenerative type of developments, especially in green economy, what is going now, stronger and stronger. So that's even so with when we build the buildings, when there's even certificate is regenerative development. So that's carbon bonds, like carbon credits. So you can receive even benefits from you own this property more than the simple one. So can you imagine? So my ideal picture is that my people, like for whom I build my buildings, that my clients can live, and at the same time the buildings can issue the carbon bonds or carbon credits, and it's cover all the cost for maintenance of this build, for the apartment of the real estate, even the profit, even when they leave it, because the building itself creates so much value for the planet and for the green in line with the green economy, that it generates itself the profit for them.
I want to come on the subject of the business side of regenerative development in a second, but if we can just stick with the wellness and the impact on the individuals who are part of regenerative developments. I remember when, as we talked about earlier, sustainability was the most important buzzword that we needed to all be talking about in real estate. What I think actually happened is it turned out to be something that was much less tangible and harder to understand from the aspect of somebody who lives in a sustainable project. From what you're saying, it sounds like a regenerative development is much more tangible to the people who are living in the project.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Does that help grow the appetite for these kinds of developments?
Of course. And the task of a lot of governments now all over the world to make this type of developments even more profitable for the developers itself and for the clients and for those who own it, who use it. So and this is combination will be the combination of extra resources what you can have during development itself, and plus extra benefits, not only from the product itself, but from the benefits of the green economy. Yeah. So for example, we have in Eiwa now we have 200 square meters of hydroponic farm. So we can produce inside the building 15 to 20 tons of fresh salads, from strawberry to watermelon, everything. So that's and this is enough to and the quality of the water, with the quality of the water, what we control for the plants, for these hydroponic farms, quality of the air, quality of the lights even. So that's now technologies help us a lot in this so that you can, and the time of delivery between when you cut it and when you eat it will be 5 minutes max. So it means that you receive the energy of these plants, really energy. And through it, increasing your well-being, and the cost is almost zero for it. So almost zero, and my target in my buildings, even to make closer the eco-producers or the farms, so that they can deliver their products directly to the end user. Yeah, so that's again for its effect. How fresh is it? Its effect. How cost is it? And of course, and with the high as possible quality of it. So that through the app inside the building, you can order anything from the through the contracts what we already as a building create for its residents, and that's even for the suppliers, for the farm. We are not one family. We're buying from them as a building itself. And this is again another aspect of regenerative development, because we need to support those who create really value, eco products, the farm products, directly the producers of it. And this is what inside this regenerative. Be regenerative not only inside, but even outside, to create it as an ecosystem. And then we need to grow this system that even the people who serve inside these buildings live maybe in small apartment, maybe not so beautiful luxury design, but at least live in healthy environment. And it's like in 17 or 25 square meters or 50 square meters, but they receive same benefits for their health. And then you can grow this regenerative system that it can help even to the cities to flourish.
Priska, on this topic here, some of these strategies and examples that Alex is alluding to, do we see that having a positive impact on the well-being of individuals who are involved in a regenerative development project? Essentially the question I'm asking is, what kind of benefits would I see if I personally was living in a regenerative development project?
Right. Yeah, so Alex has been touching on some very important parts, which is around the nutrient qualities of what we're taking into our bodies, and also but one of the things that I think has really shifted since we were in our big discussion about sustainable architecture 15 years ago, right? I think we used sustainable to mean we understood it to be thriving, but those 15 years a few shifts have happened. One of them is that humans are spending a lot more time indoors than historically. I mean, the average workday was much shorter. We spent more time in community with our families and outdoors, right? So now it is on us to create physical environments that help people have all of the benefits of all of these other environments that they were in before, because our systems are built for that. Alex and his team work a lot with the various senses of the human body. But when you work with our energetic bodies, we have 15. And they all have to be satisfied for the human body to thrive and be in function and at rest. So it's a design paradigm now, right? And that's where regenerative design comes in, because it brings this entire holistic model into play. And so in terms of the experience of somebody living in a regenerative development, part of it is what you know that you need, right? Your needs are fulfilled by the development. And then all of the things that you may not be so aware of that are just intrinsic in our nature are also being produced by the dynamics of the environment there. So examples of that have been already talked about, opportunities to be in different kinds of conversations where new ideas are born, things can be born out of the community itself, education, learning from others, the physical sense that you're cared for and at peace. And then also just the dynamics of what the quality of your day-to-day life is. So all of these things are enhanced in a regenerative development.
Actually, full pyramid of Maslow in one building. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Full, from bottom to top.
I mean, obviously it sounds incredible as an individual to be able to live in there, and we could sit here and talk about that alone all day, I'm sure. and hopefully one day I get to experience it myself. Moving on to the more business side of the conversation here, I want to talk about how this is affecting the industry. You've already mentioned some of the interesting strategies that this means for developers of regenerative development projects. Let's dive into that a little bit more. So, Alex, starting with you here, how do you see this affecting the wider real estate development sector? And what are some specific examples? I mean, you spoke about green credits, for instance, earlier.
But the value of green economy, and so everything we're discussing, like COP 28, 29, now will be 30 in Brazil. So that's how to help this type of thinking to flourish. And not from the part of that this is our mission, we don't have any other choice for our planet. Yeah, because but to help developers to understand that build cheap and sell, they can receive extra supports because there is billions of funds exist. Billions of funds. And if you put that what they propose in the financial model, so that's because that for a lot of developers is most of them, like the biggest cost sometimes is the cost of money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the cost of equity. And if you have, like now, like regularly in Dubai, because the land is quite expensive, even to the construction cost, so that's your equity usually in the project 60%, 50%. So it means that, but if you build this type of buildings and you receive the support from the funds, so that's what they can give, like 90% and 10% you need only equity. And this 90% you receive with like next to zero cost. So what does it mean? So that you can spend more a little bit, and this is all what we are talking, it's a little bit more effect, what kind of marmor or what kind of wood you use financial model than all these regenerative tools. So all of them. You need only to be open, and you need to invite some professionals now to understand. And my invitation, even for the developers, to explore this possibility, because when you're looking to the numbers only construction cost, yes, it's higher, but when you're looking together to all financial model, together with all possibilities and for the future with possibilities, because in the model when you sell, yeah, maybe some of the extra benefits after that will receive the end user. But with the model, when you rent and when you use the buildings for a long time, it's like unbelievable how much it gives. Because that all this, like even credits, they are quite long. So you can take 3 years. Yeah, so of course you need to follow the rules for, I don't know, like you need to produce water inside the building. And we, by the way, even in our Eiwa Tree of Life, we will produce from 15 to 17 tons of water from air. Just on the roof, 40 feet container. Produce with the sun panels, produce from 15 to 17 tons of really good quality of the water. And of course, then it's going to all system, then activation through the crystals, sound vibration and activation, increase pH, increase the hydrogen inside the water, and then you receive absolutely regenerative type of water, which you absorb from nature, and when you give to the people with all benefits of this water, what they need inside the building. Yeah, and this, you can easily, it's really not cost a lot. You need only to explore it. No, it's like as a leaders of development companies, they need to give the task to their team. Please explore and give me, together with financial model, what will be result, and they will be amazed, really.
Are we seeing the industry exploring this as a topic? Is that something that you think the industry is waking up and listening to?
It's waking up and listening partially because of green incentives, but the reason for that is just so evident, which is that most cities, and Dubai is no exception to this, can't afford to build only through government funding. So most cities are a public-private partnership. And the way to do that intelligently is to be aligned around certain goals. And so green funding allows for...
But I'm not talking only about the government. There is a lot of resources, even not from the government, only institutions.
Sure. Yeah, so so like as a human being, every day we have to get dressed, we have to put on clothes, right? So you can choose all sorts of different clothes. To Alex's point, if you think a little higher, there's so many gains that come from like very small investments that have very big returns. It's just a shift in thinking around where are you actually going to put your money with a slightly longer viewpoint, and the returns are exceptionally high out of that. And in addition to that, you get a much higher quality of life. So we see this a lot in a lot of cities now, where there are all sorts of investments where buildings, which are not unique things within a city, they're all part of a city. They're part of the fabric of a city, and they're a functional piece of the city. So it's important that we think of buildings as being contributive to the overall functioning of the community within the city.
But again, the main is the quality of life of residents. It's totally different, really.
So look, why don't we bring this together with my last question here, which is we are sat here in the Éwa Experience Centre, which is in Dubai, also obviously where the development itself is. Why is it we're having this conversation in Dubai? What sets Dubai apart as a location where we can have these kinds of conversations and build these kinds of future-first projects? Priska, perhaps you want to kick us off here first.
Well, I'm in Dubai because I'm an architect, urbanist, and a humanist also. And I've been studying cities my whole life. And one thing that you notice is in every generation, or sometimes two, there's one city that gets copied through a region or sometimes internationally. And I believe in our generation, it's going to be Dubai. It's a genius business model. It's an incredibly successful venture. And with a few tweaks, it can become a model that we want to see replicated all over the world. And so Dubai offers an exceptional, here regenerative development pencils, meaning that the payback on it is exceptional. And therefore, as a model, it's evident that it is the way forward. The amount of infrastructure that needs to be created here for the next piece of the development of the city, if some of it goes into green infrastructure funding, we start to fix a lot of problems. It's like through one level of investment. And so, so Dubai, I think, is going to be the model city for the future.
I love that. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Alex, same question to yourself.
First, Dubai is very, very international city. And there are a lot of people from all over the world, successful people now start living in Dubai. Choose the Dubai for the permanent place of living at least for 7 months. Yeah. By the way, this summer I was out in Europe for like 3 weeks only because of like so much work we have with new project, with the construction of existing one. And Dubai is very open-minded at the same time. So, and government is actually even push everyone to do it with their, like, not only manifestation, but with their real job, what they are doing. And I like to live in Dubai. I love Dubai. In general, yes, my family like it. So that's why it's so. And yes, Éwa, I think, is like many very advanced specialists told me that even Mark Berkeley, who wrote the Manifest of Regenerative and Sustainable Development for United Nations, and like quite big advanced futurist of living, he told that that's what you create in Éwa is not exist on Earth for now. Yeah, and of course but I created first was my task to create ideal place for living of my family and me, and to share it with people of course, in this first building, who can afford it? Yeah, but next building is coming. So this will be different, even the price level, because it's mostly connected with ticket size. Yeah, because we have all quite spacious apartment. We can make it in future project a little bit smaller, and it will be, of course, maybe somehow more affordable, because that our price per square foot is not so high. It's like from 4,000 square foot, but the benefits, what we propose for the building, is much, much higher. And back to Dubai, yes, because I live there. So I love this city. I understand that the city have not only potential, but the history to be always the first in a lot of things. And with Eiwa again, we are the first one. And it's actually Eiwa brand itself was finalized by me in Dubai. So it's made in Dubai. Made in UAE. Yeah.
And there's one more piece to that, and it's the higher level of it, which is that in Arab nations, there's the heat factors are doubling. It's almost twice as rapid as most of the parts of the world. Mm-hmm. So it's an existential question here. It's not could we do something? It's how are we doing something about it?
Yeah.
It's a model for the rest of the world, because the Arab nations are already starting to do climate adaptation in a very intelligent way. They're showing how you can change. You can actually shift weather patterns, de-desertification, and create regenerative communities within desert climates. So if you can do it here, people can do it anywhere. It's a very important model for the world in a place filled with exceptionally intelligent people.
100%. Yeah. Because, for example, in Bali, the quality of air condition or something, when you live in nature, when you live like generation one, when it was the shelter, caves, but you strongly connected with the nature, and you don't have even temperature balance, barriers sometimes. Yeah, of course, you don't need to put attention on your home so much. But still, there's a lot of things that exist, like how to protect your building from the mold, from this type of But when you in Dubai, it's very important that all systems of this holistic system work for 100%, even not 70, 100.
And the government has the vision, and they have the finance, and they have the brain trust.
Yes.
It's the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. The combination of all is unique in Dubai.
Well, look, on that obviously very positive note, I only exist for me to thank you both for your time today. Alex, thank you. Prisca, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.